Hello and welcome to the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike and Laurent. It is Thursday, January 28th, and it is a momentous day. We'll find out why. In this episode, we will discuss Manchester City grabbing a stranglehold on the league. It's ours for the taking. West Ham's chances of being in the top four? What the fuck is going on? Manchester United shitting the bed against the really good other United, Sheffield United. But first, Mike, we must discuss Spurs lost to Liverpool at the New Lane. That's what I'm calling it. 1-3. This game, Mike, you are broken, Mike. Is it the narrative shifting shithousery continue to drive you crazy? Is the Premier League have an access problem with the stories? So we only have one thing to talk about. Mike, tell us where you are right now.
I'm good. I'm perfectly fine. And I shouldn't be. I should be incensed and enraged. And you know what? I'm fucking done. I'm out. Right? Here's the thing. Tottenham have sucked for fucking 30 years. Right? I've been a part of this train for about 10 of it now.
Yeah.
We always used to suck with style. Right? It was always an interesting thing, right? When you go down a goal, you're like, maybe, fucking potentially, and then they'll give up a winner, and it's fine, whatever. But like, they used to break your heart, and you used to feel good. Now it's just a shitty ex-girlfriend coming back for one last fuck, and it's just the worst. And you want to just donkey punch her, and I hate it. I'm. So you know what? And
I subscribe to misogyny, but punching women is much. It's a lot.
But
it's
you know what?
Keep going.
I want to put Jose Mourinho in a wood chipper is my point here, okay? And I want to watch him limb by limb scream, and I'd be like, oh, that's what watching soccer used to feel like, emotion. Now it's just droning on dead bullshit, okay? There's nothing. And so I've never turned off a game faster in my about 10 years of watching Spurs. 56 minute. In fact, I didn't even know that Mo Salah's goal got ruled out by VAR, which don't even fucking get me started with that. But
all right, because Sonny had one taken away.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I saw the goal go in. I saw the goal go in, and I went, you know what? I have two options here. I can finish the rest of the things I have to do by 5 p.m., walk away from the workday, a relatively unscathed person. Or I can sit here for the next 45 minutes, want to break everything in my apartment, and then have to go do the shit I have to do. So I made the adult decision. I went, well, fuck this noise. I'm out of here. And I left 56 minutes. I had no clue that it was 2-1. I didn't. And you know why? I was like, we're not going to score 2 goals anyway. Who fucking cares? Right? Kane went down. I was like, that's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah. What the Kane thing was weird. So
yeah.
that was.
Oh, no. It's right on fucking time is what it is. It's right on time. It's January 28th, man. If anything, he's late.
Oh, you're right. Yes, this is the time when Spurs collapse and win the Europa League.
Yes. I'm so done. And oh, what? We've got a fucking crappy shit cup final? Terrific. Who gives a fuck? Right? It's ridiculous. Oh, we're in the FA Cup? I don't care, you antiquated English fucking inbred fucks. I don't care. It's worthless. So I clearly need a little bit of time off from this.
All right, let's analyze this, because this is really great, right? This is really great. What Mike is feeling is what soccer can do. I don't think any sport does this. I really don't. Like, you get upset about a loss. You get upset about this. I don't think any sport can make you feel like, what am I doing with my life?
No. I think, you haven't watched the New York Rangers in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but do you know
I've questioned God. I've questioned everything. But
no, but
I get what you're saying. And actually, here's the problem.
Regularly, there's something about the timing, the way you watch it, the commitment you've got to put in. You're kind of on your own on an island, especially us Americans. The breathlessness.
I know where you're going with this.
There's no breaks. You're not getting the release. And you just feel so attached to the team that you're fucking dying, right? Like, what are we just before we went on the air?
So here's the thing.
Said, just let me finish. I said that I was pep out in the first month of the season. That's how frustrated I was with watching Manchester City.
That is
not
ridiculous,
score,
by the way.
Right? No, I felt it. That's what I felt like.
Ridiculous.
Right?
No, I know. And I'm not saying Mourinho out in so much as I do want to put him in the wood chipper, and I will not support Spurs the way I used to until he's dead and gone. But The reason why is not because I feel this way. Frankly, for the first time in 5-6 years, it's because I don't feel this way. It's because I was able to walk away in the 56th minute and go, fuck this noise. I'm done. I don't give a shit. You know what? I knew this was going to make me feel fucking really angry. I knew that this was coming. And yet I still subscribed to it. I still signed up. I still sat down at 3:00. This is on me, not on Mourinho at this point. This is my fault. So at this point, I'm separating myself from it. That's the problem, right? Every time Pochettino Spurs, how many trophies did they win? Fucking 0, right? I was there for every match, for every moment, for every painstaking defeat, I loved everything. It was the ethos, okay? And the problem that Mourinho has done is he has bastardized everything that Tottenham Hotspur stand for in the name of success. Now, everybody in the world goes, yeah, we've been having a lot of fun for a while, but we haven't won fuck all.
You know what he is?
If you kind of want to do that, we're okay.
He's an American NFL coach.
Yes, just bounces around. I'm trying to think of a good example, but he's just a mercenary, right? Like, I mean, I know that this, but so in doing so, he rapes and pillages the fucking everybody in the village, and he burns it to the fucking ground, and he wins the League Cup, and he leaves it there and walks away, and everybody goes, "Thanks, you ruined my life, but thanks for that meaningless piece of garbage." Right? If it were the Champions League, if it were a Premier League title, which he has won, I understand. That would be different. It would be different. I understand as well. Tactically, his style of play should be working. We should have beaten Liverpool at Anfield. We should not have dropped all those points against those shit teams. Sonny should have scored 3 goals the game. I don't even know. Fulham. I forget the fucking game. We should be statistically much higher in the table than we are. We're fucking not, dude. So here's the problem. We're basically where we've always been in the last 5 to 7 years.
Except now you have Mourinho.
1 or 2. Except now it's not fun. And now it's not even fun to lose. It used to be fun to lose. How fucked up is that? Now it's just like, I don't even wish I was dead. I just wish I would stop doing this. So I'm going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So,
right?
But we should talk about the league. Let's go back to our format that we had. So we're just going to run through the table. I've got the top 10, 11. Well, we'll talk about the teams we like after the top 10 because, I do have to talk about fucking Big Dick Brighton and they're not being able to get it in because they're driving me fucking crazy. I don't know why I watch that team. It does. Anyway, my team, Manchester City, are now
Laurent
cruising.
Sent me a tweet.
Twice.
No, Laurent sent me a tweet on 2 or 3 different social media platforms. He's very proud of it. We'll have him read it on the air because it is a good tweet and it was a very underappreciated tweet. So we'll read it on the air
loved
for
it.
all you.
I loved it. Anyway, so City are now cruising. I was Pep out. Now I'm convinced that Pep has done his best coaching job. So early in the season, the team can't score. They're all over the place. They're still getting hit on the break. He decides, okay, I need to rebuild the defense. Here's my $70 million defender, the third one in 5 years. That's okay. At least they did it.
Sticks.
Yeah, this one's actually worked. So Diaz comes in. They're still trying to figure it out. He's not partnered with John Stones yet. Then they're not giving up goals, but now they can't score. So he goes to a double pivot, which means there are 2 players sitting in front of the back 4 because he doesn't trust Rodri. And they slowly but surely, he disconnects Gundogan from Rodri and lets him move forward, maybe 10 yards. So they go from both sitting in front to now Gundogan keeps moving in. Then he also figures out this guy Cancelo, maybe he can play left back and central midfield at the same time. And phenomenal. he decides to do that. And all of a sudden, City start clicking. It started in a Newcastle game. Nobody noticed because it was the Newcastle game. Everyone was like, well, Newcastle.
No, I called it out months ago. I said, Cancelo is a legit player. I traded for him in our fantasy league, in November. And I was like, this kid is good.
Yeah. By the way, that was a exchange transfer with Juventus. We sent them Danilo.
What a win. Holy cow.
So that happened.
Didn't even stay on the field anyway.
Yeah, City has no striker. They decided, well, we don't need one. They just kind of play with different guys running around. Gundogan has become a different version of Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is now injured, and they put 5 past West Brom with the most defensive, most hard-ass manager in the Premier League, whose job is to stop you from scoring goals and ruin everyone's lives. So City just whooped West Brom, and now they're like, narrative is shifting, man. It's now like, oh, City. They're all across the board. Oh, City's winning the league. City's winning the league. Okay, now the headline we buried because Liverpool has stolen the headlines, because all headlines lead to Liverpool because that's just the way the Premier League works, is shit Manchester United are sitting second place in the table, having just lost to Sheffield United, the worst team in the league. And they didn't give up. It wasn't fluky. Like, they got beat, right? And that second goal that Sheffield got after United looked like they were going to cruise, they're all just sitting off Ollie Watkins. Not Watkins. It's Oliver Burke or Burke. I don't know what the fuck his name is. Ollie Burke. Yeah.
Burke. Ollie Burke.
And they don't mark him. He's in the box. They're passing the ball in the corner of the box the way only Sheffield United do, because they do that overload on the side thing. And they're just going in and out. And no one marks him. And he just shoots it and it goes in on a deflection. And they win. And I had been saying it, right? I had been saying that Sheffield are not the worst team. They are getting the worst results, but they're not the worst team. And there they are. They get their win. But United are still shit. The worst team in the league is West Brom.
West Brom. Okay. It's West Brom. And honestly, Newcastle is way better than they performing better than they are anyway. All right.
So if you do XG per 90, West Brom is worse, then Burnley, then Newcastle, then then Crystal Palace.
That makes sense.
Then Sheffield and Fulham. So they've gotten better. But West Brom's XG difference is minus 24. And nobody.
Yeah, they've had some really hard luck.
They've given up
some
5
last-minute losses.
They've given up. They're just getting whooped. They've given up at home, I think, 12 goals in the last 3 games. That's bad.
Yeah, but no, it's not that. It's not those performances that you feel. It's the last-minute equalizers that you had 3 points in the bag and now it's 1. And then I forget the game, but it was like Chris Wilder dropping to his knees in the rain, and I was like,
oh yeah, oh no, Sheffield has some rough. They have not lost.
Yeah, like he's gonna.
I think the loss. They very rarely lose by more than 1. I mean, they have.
No, I know, but that's the point, is that they keep getting stabbed. And I'm like, somebody better just have a detail on Chris Wilder, because he's going to be hanging in his closet very soon.
But he stayed very chill in the call. So I think he's okay. I think it's just they've had hard luck. They're not this bad of a team. They actually have the worst goalkeeping in the league, which is.
Hey, let me do something real quick.
Yeah.
Something that's really important to both of us. It's not really that widespread in the States as much as I'd like it to be. Today's Bell Let's Talk Day. And what that basically means, it's mental health awareness. Right?
Oh,
so
I'm
Bell,
insane.
the telephone company in Canada. Yeah, you're fucking nuts. You're fit for a straitjacket, but so am I. You just yell louder, but not so much on this episode. But I think that it's really important to bring a white hot light to that, especially after the fucking last 12 months that we've all had. But so every tweet, Instagram post, fucking TikTok, whatever social media platform you use, hashtag Bell Let's Talk gives you, for every time that's used, they donate 5 cents to mental health initiatives. It's like $15 million and stuff. It's a huge movement.
I love it.
The Canadian
I love it.
Community and the hockey community. Yeah. So we're going to put this out with a couple of tweets with hashtag Bell Let's Talk. And we certainly recommend you all do the same. Listen, it's not about the 5 cents. It's about, today, honestly, a lot of people I follow have been sort of telling their stories about like, hey, I've struggled with this and whatever. And the stigmas about talking about it publicly. Right. So we've got hockey players, professional athletes, media personalities, a lot of people drawing, attention to this. And I think it's one of my favorite days of the year, even though my Twitter feed literally sounds like a mass suicide watch, but it's just people trying to really just cope with whatever shit they're dealing with. So really, really awesome thing. Wanted to bring that up after I made a joke about Chris Wilder killing himself. So,
that's perfect. That's exactly what you should do.
Even.
But
see that? But segues, folks.
Yeah. But the thing about United, and we've been talking about United, is They don't have a way to play. They have no identity. They don't control games, yet they were winning games. And I think anyone who follows football is like, yeah, they could win the league, but they shouldn't because they don't play as a group. And, Craig Burley, who we had a good argument about, is just been dying on the hill of like, Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is not the long-term for United. And I agree with him.
Sure.
The second he got the long-term contract, he was like, what are they doing? They should have had Pochettino as the manager, and they blew it. They should have Allegri as the manager now, and they're going to blow it. They're going to keep giving this guy this job because he somehow is getting results pulled out of his ass. Now, did I a week ago say maybe he's a good manager? Yes. But it just...
And listen, I will give Burley a bone, right? Because the problem with Premier League football, and I've said this before on this show, is the narrative changing, right? We talked a little bit about this today when we were texting. It's this one week, it's something else next week because there's just no media availability. There's a bunch of reasons for that, and we can talk about that too. But
the other thing is
Burley is stuck to his guns on that.
But let's stop for a second. With no acknowledgement that something different happened last week.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like the whole sport is covered as though Trump is covering it, right? Like he just says something that's made up.
Exactly. Right. Everybody is fake news in England, but they all go along with it. Actually, It's like the current administration. It's fine.
Yeah. Whoever you want it to be, you know what I mean.
Yeah, right. No, anyway. I just don't. Okay, perfect example. Going back, and I think we'll skip Leicester City because they're fine. They got a draw against Everton. Terrific. Third place. Liverpool. Now they're back in the title race. I'm sorry. No, they're not. Right? They're 4 points off of City, and City have a game in hand on them. So realistically, City are 7 points clear, which means
but they do have to play each other in a couple weeks.
2.5 games. Sure. And that's your statement of intent for whoever wins. Put it this way. Liverpool need 3 points or they're done. Okay. If they get 1, they make up no ground and lose an enormous opportunity to do so. Flat out. Right. Mm-hmm. And this is not to belittle Liverpool at all. They are dealing with an absolute shit ton of injuries and hardships that the rest of the fucking league has had to deal with for the last 5 years. And great, good for them, right? They're probably going to finish top 4, although Lady Lowe has very often said that she does not think that Liverpool will finish in the top 4. And I love her for it. I commend her for that, for sticking to those guns. But yeah, I just... Everybody, this is the problem with the narrative, right? Liverpool, because it's what sells. It's what's sexy. It's what's going to get people's attention. All of England media is Stephen A. Smith. Think about that for a second, right? Like they just yelled, what will people think about the most? So they just yell.
Well, I mean, listen, there are 4 big teams in England, really, right? Liverpool, sure. United, Arsenal, Spurs, Chelsea
somehow, yes. No, Chelsea showed up. The bar analogy, right? Chelsea are the newish guys at the bar, but City and Spurs are like the really new guys at the bar. Yeah. So they all used to dislike Chelsea, and now they're like, fuck it, fine, you're part of the crew.
Right.
I don't like those guys. As long as you're an asshole to those guys, you're in with us.
So I mean, I made a tweet about my team, and this is a cover narrative. Is like, City will win the league this year, and the narrative will be about something else. Because when City win the league, it's never about City. Because City don't have enough fans in the world, right? City are probably the 8th biggest team in England, 9th maybe.
Has there ever been a second place team talked about more than Liverpool when you guys
2013-14?
You guys had 100 fucking
zero. No, right? you're talking. Are you talking about the most recent one?
No, I'm talking about a couple years ago. Yes. It was the really great race.
The Suarez team.
No, not the Suarez team. When you guys had 100 points.
Just happened?
And they, and they would not stop to, poor Liverpool. What a great City team oh my goodness. Liverpool were really, really there though. They were just so close and they just got pepped by, it doesn't matter who, Manchester City. But Liverpool, man, I get it.
The only team that's somewhat remembered of a City team is the 2011 team. Right? The Aguero goal.
Yeah. Which is all time.
No one remembers the 13-14 team. Only City fans. Yaya Toure scored 20 goals.
Part of the lore of that great City team is the last second goals by Aguero. I understand, but why? Because you took the title from Man United's hands.
Yeah.
Right? That's exactly it. You need a dance partner.
Yeah.
That's the problem here.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, shit. Leicester are a more famous team than City's league wins. They just are. It's weird.
Yes. Wow. I mean,
the Centurion team is not really remembered because we walked the league. They were up by 25 points, and United came in second with 81. And then, like you said, the next team, the City team that got 98 points, beat Liverpool by 1 point, right? Because they got 97. And that 97-point team was better than this championship team for sure. Like last year's Liverpool was only
100%
awesome, but they were okay.
Yeah. But go back to the 100-point team. All right.
100-point team is
Man City, 100. Man United, 81. Would you be able to eat your breakfast for one morning ever since that day if it was Man United 100, Man City 81? A single day
would be the greatest team of all time. It would be considered the greatest team of all time. They'd be in the Hall of Fame. And that's fine. I get it. Manchester United is the biggest club in the world. They just are. And the only reason Sheikh Mansour bought Manchester City is because it was in Manchester and it said Manchester in it. Like they literally they piggybacked off the brand of the city.
Sure.
So there's that. I mean, Liverpool, we have to talk about it. I think Liverpool, they had a bad run and they looked in the FA Cup game against United like they were getting their groove back a little. And then someone was going to be the team that gets the clinical finishing. And it was unfortunately Spurs, right? Because Salah, Mane was incredible in this game. And I thought Lloris made a couple good saves. The first half was still good. Just, Kane got hurt and then it kind of just lost some steam.
It fizzled.
I was curious
about the 35th minute.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Everybody was like, oh, he made a mistake. I didn't even see it. I fucking turned the game off. But in the first half.
He let Mane run behind him, basically, without turning his head.
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, it happens. It's fine.
So guess what? Eric Dyer did that fucking 6 times by halftime. All right. So whatever.
Yeah, Mane and Liverpool are good, man. It's like
the most surprising thing to me, my brother's a Liverpool fan who will be here on this next week. Maybe we'll have him on Monday. Maybe I'll get another microphone.
Do it.
But so we were talking the whole first half and we just couldn't believe the game was scoreless. There was end-to-end action.
It was awesome.
Very, very frenetic.
It was so good.
Granted, both teams had very aggressive offside calls. Sonny got one taken off the board. Sonny also biffed another chance. And he's not Harry Kane. He's never going to be. Harry Kane was about as good as Harry Kane's ever been in the first 10, 15 games of the season. And then he sort of came down a little bit, but he was still there. The problem is that he was still in that facilitator role and Son fell off of a cliff. So obviously that's the finishing touch. You don't get the assist.
It's not falling off a cliff. It's converting at 50% shots on goals to goals and going down to what's normal, which is more like 25.
Even the problem offside goal, I know. Like the one that he scored, it was a shit goal that was almost like on Allison, right?
So I'm not going to make this a referendum back to Spurs, but I mean, Liverpool were too good to be bad for this long. And I think they may just right the ship and start scoring because their problem was not defending. Even though they haven't had defenders, the problem was scoring. Now, that weak link thing, they might be focused on defense, which is making them be 10 steps further back, blah, 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 which hurts the offense. But the other problem was they weren't clinical. Like, Salah shoots balls over the bar. He has a bad touch. Mane was getting close, but not able to put anything in. And then they finally
Mane should have 4 goals today.
Yeah, he's really good.
He was bad.
But
finishing.
No.
Spurs
were there, right? Spurs were defending well.
Sure.
Now,
I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's talk about something absolutely bananas in the 5 spot. West Ham.
What? West fucking Ham.
Wow.
The Hammers. They're killing it. They're so good. They really are living on Moyes having time, Moyes finding the right coach for the right team. Like, I think after Moyes got the United job, which rumors are he didn't want, basically Ferguson anointed him. I think he would have been happy to stay at Everton forever.
Sure. And Everton would have been happy to have
the job. There's too many vets. They don't like. I mean, the stories of that Rio Ferdinand tell, like, he got rid of the chips. We weren't allowed to have potato chips anymore. He would be like, we need to get 25 corners a game, and would like tell players, kick the ball off a guy's leg to get a corner. I'm like, this Manchester fucking United, try and score a goal. What are you? You're not Everton.
Yeah.
This is not what we do. So he just was not a good cultural fit. Right. Aside from the fact that he was Scottish, like Ferguson was. But West Ham have beat Palace like they should. They beat West Brom like they should. They beat Burnley like they should, I guess. They beat Everton. That's a good win. And they drew at Southampton at 0-0. That's their last 5. So not the toughest of runs. And they only have a 6-goal difference. And their XG difference doesn't really put them where they are. But they are where they are. And so they're scoring. And Souček has been one of the signings of the season with Rice. They make a strong midfield pair. And
he was here last year, but he's been the best signing. He's there last year, but he was the best signing West Ham
in the second half
in a long time. He had 2 first half goals.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm looking at
the team is so good.
He's been really good. The thing that's weird to me is that they have Lanzini, they have Yarmolenko, they have a lot of. They brought in a lot of attacking talent after Payet left.
But it was interesting that Souček was the guy. Those are Pellegrini guys, and they're not. They don't graft. And
okay.
Always needs grafters.
Yeah. Hey, you want to hear a funny story about Thomas Souček? Before they signed him, they were looking at Gedson Fernandes, who ended up signing with Spurs. Do you know how many league appearances Gedson Fernandes has this year?
0.
Would you like to guess?
0
league appearances. Yeah.
Why?
And they went out. Spurs used. A loan to buy option. So they have not bought him yet. It's like a $40 million option or some shit. And they were like, all right, I mean, fine. Second choice, Thomas Souček, come on down. So, wow, what a bargain for them. But I wonder how things would have been.
It all depends on the man. Things are about fit. Away. Football's weird, man. It's got to be about fit. Right manager, right team, right place. Yeah. I mean, we go on to Everton. I mean, we talked about Spurs enough. They're in 6th, Everton in 7th. They're getting results. They got a draw today.
Certainly did.
But, like James was out at Real Madrid. He goes back to his old manager. James back with Ancelotti. Has scored something like, I heard a stat on a podcast today, 20 goals from outside the box. This was his first with his right foot. So that was out of the blue. And then they gave up a shitty goal because
and he's been hurt. So
yeah. They had that first month where they were incredible, and then he was kind of a big deal. They have to get rid of Pickford if they have any thought of being good. He let a goal in that was from far away. It just went right under him. And he is actually a bottom 4 keeper in the Premier League by expected goals added, which means
that makes total sense. I mean,
and he's one of these guys who's all action. Like he jumps and dives and tries to look like he's goaltending, and he just stinks.
So I'm always the guy who brings up how many games everybody's played. They've only played 18 still. They've got 33 points, which means they're a game ahead of Tottenham, even though they're even on goals, even on points. And listen, 5th place is 2 points away. So they've got 2 games on everybody above them except for City. West Ham, Liverpool, Leicester. 2 wins in those 2 games get you 39 points. That means Everton Football Club would be in 3rd place. That's, I mean, and again, they've changed their form.
Good manager.
They've changed their form since, James coming back. That's a big deal. I mean, I haven't looked at their schedule, but I think if I were to, I would be prognosticating Newcastle, Leeds, although United comes up after that, Fulham, and then Liverpool. So they have a tough run in, to be fair.
I could see United dropping down the table. They're just not good. They're getting lucky.
Well, we've talked about this ad nauseum, right? It's fat. And I think that the more that the season goes on, the more we're learning it's fat after 1. Right. So, so I think that, is Manchester United dropping down the table? does that even matter? Are they going to finish top 4? Probably, almost definitely. So like
they could not finish top 4 easily.
They could not finish top 4, but I think that they would. In the case that somebody has to, I think that.
Someone will finish it. Obviously, someone will finish top 4.
Right? No.
Teams,
we've seen seasons like this before.
Yeah. Speaking of finishing in the top 4, Chelsea, with the mandate to finish in the top 4, are in 8th. They had their first game under Thomas Tushy.com's Thomas Tuchel.
Tushy.com.
It looked very much like sorry ball. The passing sideways. They set the record for passes and a half in a terrible 0-0. Wolves too good defensively for them. And the big news of the game actually was Mason Mount was dropped. So,
my favorite thing about all the Lampard out stuff was all of the memes about Mason Mount worrying about losing his job. Like,
Well, he did play every minute of every game all games all the time, always.
Yeah. There's one, I don't care much for Harry Potter, but my fiance Jessica is a big Harry Potter fan. And there's one where I guess one of the end movies or some shit where Voldemort is standing where Dumbledore was, and he's like, "How dare you stand where he stood?" Right. So like right on Tuchel's first day of training, like standing where Lampard used to. Like, how dare you do that? So even Jessica found some humor in Mason Mount's expense. So I enjoyed that. But yeah, I mean they're in 8th place.
This is good. By the way, let's just back this up. Mason Mount leads Chelsea in minutes over N'Golo Kante and their fucking goalkeeper. That's insane.
That's right. Because Mendy didn't come into a few games.
Right. And then usually when you go to a team's thing and you sort by minutes in a season, the goalkeeper usually has the most minutes, and then it's usually
be number 1,
a central defender, because they don't get swapped out in games. The fact that Mason Mount leads the team in minutes is insane. He's played on average.
It's pretty funny.
Of the 19 games played, he's finished 17 of them. It's bananas.
Jesus Christ!
Like, he's just gonna get broken. Anyway, I guess he's due for a rest. He should be fine. I'm interested in Tuchel. I don't know much about him.
He's not gonna play.
He may play. I don't know. The one that I don't want to see is just no more with the fucking Jorginho. If I hate a player who represents evil to me, it is Jorginho. He looks like a paper fly. He only passes the ball sideways. He takes those stupid fucking penalties, and he has an evil mustache. And he looks like a girl who's waiting for someone who transitioned to a man. I don't like him. Out. Fuck that guy. Arsenal. Our favorite.
Yes, keeping it in London.
Are no longer a banter team. Now they're playing well.
Right.
Sucks. I hate when
perfectly mid-table. They're playing well.
All I want is fucking angry DT. I want Claude to lose his job for saying something about Asians. I want Robbie to get mad and sad, and I just want all the fucking Arsenal fan TV content I can get. If they keep playing well and they're boring, they're gonna disappear off YouTube, and I'm gonna be sad forever.
They're never gonna disappear. Here's why: they're playing well, right? They've got a couple of good wins on the bounce here. Although they lost to Southampton in the cup, that doesn't matter. Let's see. In the league form, win against Chelsea, win against Brighton, 4-0 against West Brom, 2-0 against Newcastle, goalless draw against Palace, 3-0 Newcastle, and 3-1 Southampton. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of their last 7 have been wins, and the others a draw. So they're perfectly fine. They're playing well. The narrative now for Arsenal is, oh, we fucking told you we're so great, blah, blah, blah. That's my thing about Arsenal, is that like they just never shut the fuck up. Either they're screaming about how they're angry they are, and it's all hilarious, and everybody's doing like crazy dances on YouTube about how fucking furious they are, or they're like, oh, you know, blood, we're gonna win the league, blood. Like, dude, you're in fucking 10th place. You're not that good. You've got a pretty good manager. Objectively, I think I've always said Arteta is a good manager.
I think
you've got shit for him to deal with and for him to manage with, but he's making do with what he's got.
Yeah.
Right. He had to basically expel the rest.
So Aubameyang, I think someone in his family is dead or something. Something weird happened. But they're the line. They're literally the middle of the table. They are the last positive XG team in the whole list of the league, and they are 10th. They are about as average and middling as you can be in terms of they're just above not sucking. They have a real player in Saka. They have their guy that they can latch onto. Mm-hmm. Will he get hurt? Will he be a Jack Wilshere problem? I don't think so, because sadly, sport is racist. Sport is, it matters what you look like. And he's an ugly, dark-skinned kid. And I think, sadly, they're not going to elevate him into like he's the savior of Arsenal because he looks weird. His head's really high and his eyes are low. He looks fucking weird. But he's incredible.
He looks like he's really good. He just sort of is like mid-pubescent to me.
Yeah, something's wrong. Like his forehead started growing and his face didn't go with it.
Look, and let's be very clear about something. So, okay, Tom Brady at Michigan looked like he looked like an amoeba. He was not good looking. He had bitch tits. He was strange, right? And now he's this like pillar of masculinity and strength and men and all that stuff and beauty, all that, whatever. So give Saka some time, right? He's a kid. Let's give it a minute. But
as long as he doesn't get blonde braid, yeah. Like Jack Wilshere was literally the most handsome Englishness of England. So they elevated him, and Ramsey they loved. These guys, and Henry is beautiful. Like these guys were good looking guys. It makes a difference.
Henry was a good looking cat.
Yeah, good looking guy. So we're getting into my favorite part of my favorite team in the league, Aston Villa. God damn it. No one would have told me that Burnley-Aston Villa would have been an awesome game. It was awesome.
Holy shit.
Aston Villa were all over the place. Jack Grealish almost had the goal of the season. He ran with the ball through the Burnley defense a la Son, but couldn't finish. He is just fucking electrifying. I can't deal. Like, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about Jack Grealish. I love him. I want him to be... Maybe, stay at Villa. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, no, I want him to stay at Villa.
Fucking exciting.
I want him to stay at Villa.
Yeah.
The thing is, he'll be underappreciated if he goes to a city or like even a larger team with so many other,
Yeah, he won't be able to stay on the ball and do whatever the fuck he wants, right?
Exactly. So I want him to be the guy at Villa. Going into the season, I was skittish about them. I was like, I don't know. They're not a lot around there. I could not have been more wrong. They are, listen, and I'm not a Villa fan, but I want to watch them as a neutral. I want to watch them every week. I don't want to watch Spurs. I'm not going to get back into it, but like, I want to watch Villa. They bring joy to the game, right?
So they're having fun.
Yes, exactly.
And it looks like there's 5 guys on the team that go out, if they could go out, to try and get laid. Like, they're young, they've got hair, they're fucking virile. They're like, we're going to get laid. Let's go.
What? They're so handsome, they could get Bukayo Saka laid. That's how good looking they are.
He needs to go to that team so that they can hang out with him. I mean, between El Ghazi and Cash and Watkins and Ross Barkley a little bit, but that team they're just so good looking. I can't even deal. I'm like, and Emi Martinez is the old guy who gets the old chicks with his cool because he knows about wine. Like, they got the whole crew. Like, they should just be making.
He's the guy with the fedora,
right? They should just be making Aston Villa's 11. Like, they're fucking incredible and good looking. Give me these guys. They even have the cool black guy with the dreads. They've got them all. Fucking Bertrand Traore's the guy who's like,
that's Bernie Mac.
You guys go fucking hang out with the white girls. You guys leave it to me because I'm the only black guy in the team. Like, just give me all of them. Target's the ugly guy. So he's a little.
Well, you need an ugly guy too, but that's the thing. He's the Scott Conn on the team, right? If we're doing those.
It's just such a fun team, and if you haven't watched Premier League football, just go watch Villa. And
could not agree more. They
have lots of fun.
They are all the joy I wish I was having.
Yeah. So I don't have notes on these other teams, but I do want to touch on. I want to touch on Leeds, who got themselves back in action. Not a great result. I thought that Newcastle losing would mean that they would fire Steve Bruce, because poor Newcastle, they're just But Leeds are still Leeds. They're still not firing perfectly. They want to get there. Wolves are really struggling. If it was any other season, they'd be in trouble. They have no wins in their last 5. Since they lost their striker Jimenez, we've been talking about it week after week. They're just frozen in time until they get something going again. It's very strange how that team is falling apart. The team in the bottom half that's really kicking ass right now is Burnley. They beat Liverpool, then they beat, and they have no right to beat Aston Villa. They beat Aston Villa 3-2 this weekend. Are you ready for the? Let's see do we have an expected goals here so I can get mad at this game. Where is it? Let's see. Fuck, I can't find it right off the top of my head.
That's all right. So, and the one team I'll bring up that you sort of, when you look at their recent form without looking at the results of the opponents, you go, I can't really make sense of what they actually are, is Southampton. But when you look at their going back a month, the only losses they haven't gotten a result: Man United, Man City, Leicester, and now Arsenal, right? So the Arsenal one's like, you guys, and they had just beaten them in the cup. And I mentioned this on the preview show where it's like, okay, maybe Arsenal didn't really show all their cards. They rested a few players for that game. Southampton really blew it on Tuesday. And that was a chance to kind of reemerge into the, I guess, upper mid table, if you will, that 7-8 spot. And they kind of shit the bed on that one. And look, it doesn't get much easier. They've got Villa and United in their next 2 games. So
I mean,
they're going to need results there.
The thing that separates and I'm learning, and Charlie will laugh at me because I always would get excited by bad teams for a little while. The thing that separates these teams over the long season is the good teams just don't lose games. They don't have long stretches of bad results. Like Southampton is still the team that we liked and loved, and they were good, but they'll lose 2 out of 3. They'll drop a point here.
Yeah, but hold on.
And only a few points, and you sort of start to drift. You drift downwards. So I have the XG. Aston Villa XG 2.1. Burnley XG half, but they got 3 goals.
That's fucking nuts, dude.
The glancing header by Chris Wood to win the game was just like never. It's just like, can you
come on
with the fucking
come
thing.
On.
And Jack Grealish was just incredible, otherworldly in this game. And then of course, we have to talk about the relegation fight. It was Fulham versus Brighton. Brighton are.
Do we have a fight?
What?
Do we have a 3-horse fight here?
Well,
do we have a 3-horse
fight.
Is the Sheffield United?
Like, if they don't fire Bruce, they'll go down. They're bad. They're really
no. I'm saying, can Sheffield United climb out of this? Can they pull like a Leicester and just rescue their season?
There's not enough bad teams. That's the problem.
They play West Brom. Listen, okay. City, Chelsea, West Ham, they're going to lose those. They've got West Brom and Fulham in their next 6 games. If they get 6 points from those, and they keep those 2 teams from getting points, they're fucking right there. And they'll have gone through a bunch of the higher. It
wouldn't surprise me. The problem with the bottom 3 is the teams. There's only one team in. So let's do this. Let's do the bottom half here. Let's do Palace from Palace down. So Palace, Burnley, Newcastle, Brighton, Fulham, West Brom, and Sheffield United.
And Sheffield.
Yeah. West Brom is they're bad. They do have Big Sam. That gives them credit. But they're legitimately very terrible. Fulham are not. That team has fight. Now, do they have talent is the question. But what we've seen in the last month or 2 from them is they're not losing. So they're getting little points here and there, a couple wins, and they'll shoot out of this group. Sure. Sheffield can't score, and that's their big problem. Like they've got to start scoring somehow. But they need, but we know that they're capable of it from the first half of last season. They need their fans. They need a lot of things to go right. The issue is out of Palace, Burnley, Newcastle, and Brighton, who's going to take whose spot are they jumping?
Newcastle for me. I mean, we talked about
Newcastle for me too, right? But
and the other thing is you got to remember that the tiebreaker.
It could be Brighton.
The tiebreaker comes in. Well, look at this, right? Okay.
Goals against.
Newcastle's got a point on Brighton right now. Yes, goal difference. Newcastle has a -15. That's 3rd worst in the league, right?
Yeah.
Brighton's only -7. Brighton,
because they're
Brighton's
good.
Better than Wolves. No, I know, but Brighton's got a better goal difference than 13th place Wolves, right?
They have a positive XG difference. That means that
I know.
Should be like 10th in the league, and they're
right.
Like
exactly.
They've got a big dick that looks incredible until you try and put it into something, and you just can't get it in.
There's the tweet.
There it is.
There's the tweet, folks.
That's my big dick team of the day.
Hey, we'll make that a segment right next to tushy.com.
Oh God. I watch Brighton. I've been watching them. I can't stop watching them. They did what they always do. They look amazing. They literally have every game has a goal mouth scramble where you're like, could you just fucking score? what is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
And it's not like one-on-ones. It's like these scrappy fucking, are you kidding me? So I don't even know who I hate most on the team. I'm pretty sure it's Neil Maupay. He's their striker. He's this little pain in the ass dickhead French dude.
Yeah.
Who just, I'm like, can you just get I'm on a hunt for strikers that can go to Brighton, and I don't know where I'm going to find them. I want fucking my little friend Tariq Lamptey to come back so that they can get more joy down the wing. This team has 3 wins.
How about Giroud?
How the fuck do they only have 3 wins?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, how about Giroud?
What about Giroud? I mean, the chance of a window closes in 2 or 3 days. That's actually a good point. We need to do we don't have to because there's been like fucking no transfers, but transfer deadline day is on Sunday.
It's a thing.
Hopefully there's some news. We'll see.
Odegaard,
we'll see.
We have
surprises.
Some things have happened already. So Odegaard came from Real Madrid to Arsenal.
We talked about Odegaard.
Yeah. Guys have moved out. I don't remember. A couple guys here and there. We can look at it, but yeah, Brighton is my white whale. I'm just like, if they go down, I will be livid.
Yeah, that would be tough.
I don't know. Are we running out of steam? I think we're running out of steam. This was the Squeaky Bum Time Podcast with Mike and Laurent. We meet and do this crazy thing on Mondays and Thursdays. We'll be back on Monday to cover another match week that just ends. Shit, there's probably games tomorrow. There's so many games that we can't even keep up with it. Mike will watch soccer again. Just not.
I am. Just not Tottenham. I fucking can't do it.